Hey everybody, this is LEGO's official StarScavenger set from the Freemaker Adventures series of Star Wars. And at first glance, the ship here to me looks smaller than I would expect for the price of the set. However, the price to part ratio of the set is right in the normal range, which suggests that there's a lot of detail on the ship with small pieces. The hammerhead style front of the ship has a lot of different colors and textures and shapes, which looks good from a distance, but when I get up and look at it more closely, it does not look so good to me. It just feels a little bit like a mess with, the use of just a plate piece right here in the corner, and this is rounded here. Just kind of feels a little bit jumbled. And this ship is supposed to be much larger in universe, so they're trying to make something that's really scaled it down. So you want to see smaller details. You want to look at this up more closely to get more of the feeling of grandeur of the whole thing. And that just doesn't come across for me. The sides are able to rotate up and down, so you can actually shoot because it has the spring-loaded shooter that's built in there on either side. And this has an opening cockpit section. This fits two figures in tandem, and it's got a printed console piece up towards the front. Figures kind of have to fit quite deep down in there because there's a lot of height to this section. It gets a little bit dark and cramped for them. The back section of the ship looks better to me, at least on the top, with the engine pods there and those nice fin pieces that are used on the newest A-Wing. Coming around the back though, things start to kind of fall apart with just the appearance. I mean, the backs of the engines themselves look fine, but it starts to look all open down here. And when you look at it from a lower angle, you start to really see just how hollow this thing is. Wait a minute. All right, I can close down these sides that far. It still looks hollow and open from the sides. I can open these up completely, and that's nothing but empty space. There are some major transformative features to this ship though that may make some of that interior space make more sense. First of all, these wingtips can be folded out like that. Makes it look a little bit more sleek, but it doesn't help down here. All of this can be separated. There's a pin there, and there are Technic beams to allow you to pull this out. Hey, this is looking good. Open all that up. Still has a big old open space in the center though. Well, there's this little mech thing, little scavenger mech that's included with the set. I'll show you that up more closely, but if you flatten out its legs forward, you can set this right down in here. That should fit pretty decently well. Now it starts to make a little bit more sense with kind of a continuous amount of detail and coverage here. You can put a person here. I would expect they would have to have a helmet on because they'd be exposed to the elements otherwise. But then you can have folks up here doing the piloting and weapons control, and then somebody back here can be controlling kind of maybe dealing with navigation and looking for materials and resources to harvest. You can actually make that scoop extend down below. But if I pick this up to show you what's going on down below, the wings start to fall down. So these don't lock into place. There's one single pin here and an axle that sticks out, and that just keys into the other side. So all of this is just not wanting to be like this. This does not work. Even when you have the little mech in place, you still need to close this up. It's the only way to really be able to use this in any reasonable kind of way. So you close that up. Now you've got something on the inside, kind of. Still, I prefer to just close it up entirely. And then once you do that, you can alternately bring down the scoop just a little bit, so you can do a little run in, scoop up some material, and then kind of push that back in there. Really does not work very well at all, and just doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel good to me. Everything is kind of loose, and even this front section is able to just rotate around like that. They actually intend, here's another transformative feature, they actually intend for you to be able to split off this front section. Leave kind of the cargo and collection area of the ship behind, and then just fly this around by itself. Kind of looks cool from the front, but no, I don't like that. I don't like that. It looks like just the head of the ship. and it doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't look good. This doesn't look good to me. It looks like they just want to be together and are not happy apart. And the looseness, the emptiness, the awkwardness, it's just not working for me. Officially, they call this little mech a shovel cart, and I think it's cute and a cool idea. I don't like the look of the legs that much, but the proportions of the thing on the whole are fine. A little bit plain looking from the back, but that's not that big of a deal to me. I want to be able to actually pick things up with this, and you can do that by leaning it forward. So you lean it forward and then you're able to actually get the bucket to come down to the ground. However, it then just wants to fall back. They give you a little bit of stuff, planetary materials to be able to pick up. So hold it like this and put your hand in front of it, in front of the materials, and then you can kind of scoop stuff up. And pull down and bring this up. You just have to be very careful with it. It's a little bit awkward, more than a little bit awkward in how it plays. I think that most kids are probably going to want to leave it like this, but it's going to fall back, so it'll just be sitting like this most of the time. But at least in this pose, you can just go up, grab the whole thing, and just scoop like this. You know, that would be the kind of standard preferred play pattern, I think, rather than trying to make it do things realistically, which is just, like I said, a little bit awkward. It doesn't work all that well. The figures look good to me. Left to right, it's Rowan, Xander, and Cordy. I think that's how it's pronounced. Cordy or Cordy? I think it's Cordy. And then Roger, R0GR, over on the right, the token leftover old battle droid from the Clone Wars era. I think that the prints on these are just phenomenal, especially when you consider that this is just a very limited run thing. You know, Freemaker Adventures, it's not going to be around for very long. There's not going to be a whole lot of content involved in it, and given all that, I think that they did a really nice job with prints on the fronts and the backs. I even like Roger. I'm not a fan of battle droids in general. We've just gotten so many of them. Never been a huge fan of them, but I like those colors with the tan, the dark brown, and the dark orange. Just all works together well. They also give you an alternate headpiece for Rowan over here, and let me just get that. It's his hair. So you get his helmet and his hair both. None of these heads have alternate faces, though. That's one thing where they went just a little bit cheaper. In the end, on the whole, I am very unhappy with this set, very dissatisfied. Felt like it felt a little bit small to begin with, but it had some potential. Lego does make some small things that are really cool, and that makes sense to me in terms of value because of just how much they put into them with smaller details. But this doesn't have the smaller details. It has action features that really do not work well to me. It has the split function that doesn't make sense to me. I don't like it. I don't like the look of it. I don't like how it feels. It has the little mech thing, which is, again, cute, a cool idea, but doesn't work well. The only things that I really like here in this set are the figures. I think the figures are great. The rest of the set, I can't recommend. To be honest with you, this is really going to sound mean, but I could see this being sold for half the price at most, mostly as a minifigure and spare parts pack, because the assembly itself just isn't good. I feel like this should not have been released at this price. Probably shouldn't have been released at all. It just doesn't work well as a set. Now those, of course, are just my thoughts, and if you like this thing, if you like the look of it, that's cool, that's fine. Don't let me sway you. However, in my review, I gotta tell you how I feel, and I don't feel good about this set. Let me know what you think and how you feel about it by sharing your thoughts in a comment down below. Thank you for watching, thank you in advance for your feedback, and I'll talk to you again very soon.